To celebrate Friday, some good news from, of all places, El Salvador. In general, I talk about bad things, hoping to remind the frog the water is getting quite hot before it boils. But there are a lot of good things happening in the world, and it's good to talk about them too. So last week I was in El Salvador to attend the inauguration of their thoroughly based president, Nayib Bukele. He had recently won election with 86% of the vote, despite a unified front from Salvador's left-wing media, as well as the left-dominated international organizations, NGOs, and, of course, the Biden administration, the globalist Borg who collectively enslaves most developing countries. Bukele broke that with 86% of the vote. Incidentally, he got 98.5% of the diaspora vote, meaning overwhelmingly Salvadorans living in the U.S. Given that U.S. Latinos have traditionally voted left, 98.5% of Salvadoran Americans voting for a social and economic conservative is something Trump should pay attention to. Now, if you're unfamiliar with what's happening in El Salvador, it's MAGA on turbo. El Salvador was one of the most dangerous countries in the world, a near-narco state where gangs dominated the cities, running protection rackets that drained impoverished Salvadorians and murdered their children. The left-wing government was partnered up with the gangs, using them as muscle to suppress opposition, extending to political assassination. It was this close to a failed state thanks to the left. Bukele himself was a former communist activist who red-pilled hard after he saw the corruption and how the establishment abuses the poor. He tried running as a reform candidate, at which point the establishment literally outlawed his party, so he joined another party, and they outlawed that one. Finally, he joined a party at 11:55 p.m. the night before the elections, so they couldn't get a corrupt judge to ban it. Once in office, he followed through on his promises and absolutely crushed the gangs. You can find videos on YouTube. El Salvador went from one of the most dangerous countries in the world to one of the safest. He took on the corrupt establishment for transparency, and finally, he took on the money. El Salvador was already on the U.S. dollar, having ditched the local confetti years ago. Bukele took the next step and made Bitcoin legal tender, the first country in the world to do that. It was a big step in restoring the gold standard in its modern version of the unseizable gold that is Bitcoin. That, of course, made him a hero to tens of millions of Bitcoiners. In fact, a lot of them were in San Salvador last week. If you're active in Bitcoin, you know Max and Stacy, Jack Mullers, Mike Germano, Pierre Rochard, the musician Zuby, and Lena from Little Hodler. By the way, they're all as kind and as dedicated as you'd expect from passionate Bitcoiners, just the guys for a 2 a.m. Denny's run. So what's next? Brought to you by Unchained.com. Bukele, together with Javier Milei in Argentina, is creating a new brand of based populism that is taking Latin America by storm. It's fearless, it's unapologetic, and it's delivering results from the economy to public safety that the abused voters of America, Europe, or Canada can only dream of. For an American, this is exciting partly because it filters through to Hispanic voters, so 98.5% is a big number to go based. And for the long-suffering people of Latin America, there's finally an option that's not about the lesser of two evils. They finally see a road to salvation. Okay, we'll be watching. See you next time.